I have built hundreds of AI agents, and in this video, I'll show you the 6 agents that everyone needs. And I'll also explain how to turn this into a profitable side hustle. And no, it's not by building an automation agency. So to build AI agents, n8n is the simplest way by far. It is more powerful than Make.com, Zapier, and it is easy to get started. And you can basically build any AI agent you want inside of n8n. So let's start with the trigger. And again, there are hundreds of different options. For example, if you select on app event, you can select from thousands of different apps that are natively connected into n8n. However, for this build, I'm actually going to go with the schedule trigger. This is one of the most useful types of triggers inside of n8n, which lets you set an interval. Could be days, could be hours, even seconds, right? I'm going to go with days once a day. So the first agent I'm going to be building is an infinite lead follow-upper. And this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. But basically, it will follow up with any types of leads. Could be job candidates, could be potential clients, and it's going to keep following up until you get the sale. So once you decide on the schedule, next you need the first action step, right? What is the first thing the AI agent should do after we call him? In this case, it needs to be Gmail, get many messages. There it is. So it can analyze multiple different emails that you received and decide what actions it wants to take on those emails. Now, this is very important. Anytime you make any change inside of n8n, make sure to click save. Otherwise, you risk losing progress. So inside of the Gmail node, we need to select which email do we want our AI agent to look at, right? So if you don't have any emails connected, simply click on create new credential. And this is actually probably the hardest part. So if you're willing to sit through the next 3 minutes, you will already be ahead of 99% of people. And I can promise you that because most people cannot even set up a single Google service into their AI agent and they're just gonna drop off and never automate anything in their life. So if you can stick through the next 3 minutes, you will begin your automation journey and you can get rid of all the boring shit in your life. So what we need to do is we need to go to Google Cloud Console. So let me show you how to do that. This is gonna be the email inbox I'm gonna be automating, and anything I send out is gonna automatically get follow-ups. So if you send out a job application, it's gonna keep following up with that company until they respond to you. Same with, getting clients as a business, whatever you wanna do. This agent is universal, everyone needs him. So to set this up, we need to go into Google and type in Google Cloud Console. Boom, hit enter, click the first link. Now make sure to switch to the same account you want to automate. Now at the top, we need to create a project, right? Create project, new project. Let's name it n8n email follow upper. I know, very creative name. For location, just leave it as is. Click create. And this is how Google Cloud Console works. Basically, you have these different projects and in these, you have these auth clients. You don't have to understand all of it. Just follow what I'm doing. Follow these steps. I'm going to show you everything in this video. So you can see the project has been created. Click on select project and you need to see it in the top. There we go. n8n email follow-upper. Beautiful. Since we're going to be using Gmail, we need to type in Gmail API and we need to enable this. There we go. Enable. Literally just one click, takes a few seconds to load and it's going to enable it for this project. And boom, just like that, it's enabled. So let's click on OAuth consent screen and then click on clients. We need to create a new client. Get started. So app name, I'm gonna name David Ondrej n8n agent. Support email, just select the email you're automating. Next. Audience, you can only select external. If you have a Google Workspace, you can select internal, but just click on external. Next. Email address, just paste the same one. Next. And then agree, continue, create. All right, so OAuth configuration created. So let's click on clients on the left again. Create client, and this is the last step. So web application, we can rename this as n8n follow up agent. And here is the important part, right? So if we go back into n8n, we can see that this is the redirect URL. So copy that. Boom, authorized redirect URLs. Paste this in. Create. The next two things is the client ID and the client secret. So we get those when you click create. So client ID, just copy paste those. Boom. Client secret, just like that. Copy paste. And then click on save. And next, we need to click on this button, which appears after you fill this out. Sign with Google. And this is really the last stretch. So we need to select the email. We have a access block. Let's see. App is being tested. Okay. So I think I didn't add myself as a developer. That's a mistake. Let's go back to our client. Audience, test users. There we go. Need to add myself as a test user. Save. Nice. So now we can continue, but it doesn't seem like it. You might say, okay, David, this is another error. Actually, it's not. It's just bad UI. We need to click on continue, right? It's kind of tempting to click on back to safety, but don't worry. We're absolutely safe here. Just click on continue. And then it's the permissions you want the AI agent to have. So I want my full email management. Continue. And connection successful. Now we did the hardest part, low-key. Now just building the agent is going to be much easier, and this is going to compound to all the other agents. So keep in mind, this is only the first of 6 AI agents that I'm going to show you. And each of them, you can take the lessons from this one and just build them that much faster. And honestly, if you implement all 6 of these agents into your life, you're going to save multiple hours per week. Now, before we add the AI agent, there are actually a few other things we have to do inside of the Gmail node. First of all, make sure to enable return all. Leave simplify turned on. And then inside of filters, this is super important, we need to click on search and do in send. This is the same search you can do inside of Gmail, just do in send. Now it's funny because I've never sent an email from this Gmail address, but for most emails, you probably use them to send stuff as well. You can also do something like has, attachment, whatever works inside of Gmail. This is the same logic that will work in this NA10 node. So this, since it's a following up agent, we need to check which emails we send so that it can follow up on them with that recipient. So this is it. Like this node is good, so we can save that. And actually we can run it so we can test out if it works. So get many messages, let's see. And as expected, we have no output data because we didn't send any emails. But let me just quickly send an email to myself. Boom. Hi David, how are you doing? Testing NA10 at the moment. Let me know how it goes. All right, so I'm just gonna send one email so we have some data to work with. And now we have actually something in the send. So let's go back and let's rerun this so we can see if our node works. And there we go, one item. So just like that, we have proven that our first 2 nodes work. The schedule trigger will be executed once a day, and then the Gmail will successfully pull all sent emails from your inbox that you just connected, and you get all the data, whether it's the history ID, the internal date, the payload, the subject line, or the recipient. Everything you might need is in this output data, which of course we're going to use to feed that into an AI agent, to process it, to write a personalized short follow-up message. Okay, so let's click on save. Now the next node, I'm actually going to use a code node. This one is the most customizable node. You can either use JavaScript or Python. I'm going with JavaScript. So I'm going to replace this default. I'm going to delete all of it with something I prepared ahead of time just to save you guys time. Now you might be thinking, okay, David, how can I create this? This is so complex. Calm down, I'm gonna show you, you can literally do this with ChatGPT. So inside of ChatGPT, you need to describe what you want. Here's how that looks like for this agent. Build a function that processes Gmail messages data to find friends where you reached out but never got a response. So all of this, you don't have to understand JavaScript. As long as you can describe what exactly you want, you can build essentially anything. Just make sure to use ChatGPT thinking because it's a lot more powerful than the default GPT-5. So once ChatGPT finishes generating the code, just click copy code right here at the top of the code block, go back into NA10 and paste it inside of your JavaScript node. So just like with every single new node we add, we should test it. You should never build a full automation without doing any testing because then you're going to be stuck in many different errors, right? You want to fix the errors one by one as you're building it. So let's run this node. Boom. Node executed successfully, and let's look at the output here. Now, the simplest way to explain this is that this code, it basically finds all the emails where you didn't get a response, right? This is like all the failed outreaches because you don't want the agent to be running on the ones that did get a response. So this one finds the ones that failed and gets their thread IDs. That's just how Gmail notifies them. Basically, those are the people who completely ignored you because those are the ones we need to follow up with. Okay, so the next node after this one is going to be a loop over items. Boom, there we go. And here we don't have to literally do any setup. It's the simplest possible because it's going to run on our AI agent. So we need to replace this node. We need to delete it and replace it with something else. So let's click on plus, and inside is going to be our AI agent. This is going to be the decision maker of how do we follow up, right? What the message looks like, how does the email look like? So let's click on save and let's configure the AI agent. Now to do that, let's quickly run the loop node, super simple. And then we have some input data in the AI agent to work with, right? So let's customize the prompt message. We need to click on define below and then click on expression. Now, if you just look at the left side of the data, which is always the input, right? A lot of people are confused by NA10 because if you're using it for the first time, it might seem intimidating. But when you realize that the left side, this side is just the input data, the middle is the current node, aka what we do with that data, and the right side is the output, so what the data looks like after this node is executed. Once you understand this, the UI doesn't look so intimidating. So if we look on the left, what do we need, right? Well, we need the subject, and we probably need the snippet. So we just need to define something like this, where we say subject and then JSON.subject, which by the way, let me show you a pro trick. You can just drag it over. This is the beauty of NA10. So when you identify the data you want, just literally drag it over, and just like that, boom, it's there. So when you're like, oh, David, you pre-prepared this, I don't know how to do it. All you need to do is really drag stuff from the left into the middle to kind of build your prompt. That's the essential skill when using the AI agent inside of n8n. Now the snippet, again, same thing, right? This text is just so we tell the AI agent this is the snippet. Boom, you can literally rename this like, here's the email body. Whatever you want it to be, you know, just type it in there. This is the user prompt. This is telling the agent what the email is about. However, the user prompt is not enough. We also need a system prompt. So let's click on add options, system message. And this is where we're going to tell the AI agent how to behave. So once again, let's switch to expression because you can click this button to make it full screen, which is much easier to edit. And again, I prepared this ahead of time, but feel free to pause and copy it. By the way, all of the AI agents, all of the prompts, everything from this video is inside of the classroom of the New Society. So when you go to templates and presets right here, you can literally get all the AI agents from my past videos as well as from this video and just copy paste them into your life and business. So actually inside of n8n, what you can do is click on these three dots in the top and click on import from file. And then you can select a JSON file, which is a pre-built agent, and boom, just like that, I imported the full AI agent already configured into my n8n. So if you want to just skip through a lot of steps, maybe you're a busy business owner, you don't have time, join the New Society, go into the classroom, click on templates and presets, and here you can access all of my AI agents, all my pre-built automations, all of my prompts and instructions, everything you need to start automating your life and business. The link to New Society is going to be below the video. Now back to n8n. So I'm going to delete this because I'm showing you how to build it from scratch, but that was just for you that want to skip through some steps. Let's define the AI agent. So we have the system prompt. Again, it just defines the behavior of it, right? So what the task is, input explanation, how the output should look like, the tone and style, basic prompt engineering. You can customize this for how you want your emails to look, obviously. We still get an error inside of the AI agent, and the reason is we're lacking the chat model. Without the LLM, without the large language model, the AI agent is just a body without a brain. The LLM is the brain, it's what gives it the intelligence. Now you can either use OpenAI for models like GPT, you can use Anthropic for the Claude models, Google for Gemini models, or you can use OpenRouter to access all of the models. Now most of you are probably familiar with ChatGPT, so we're going to stick to OpenAI, and it's also one of the simplest to set up. For the model, I would like to use GPT 4.1. This is one of the most reliable models in the world right now. It's much more reliable than GPT-5, and sometimes it's even better, to be honest, especially in agentic workflows. So let's select that. Now, our automation is a bit messy. I don't like when it looks ugly, but we're going to fix that in a bit. The main part is we need to define the credential, right? So this is basically the OpenAI API key. As you can see, I already have a few, but if you don't have any, just go to Google again and type in platform OpenAI. Boom, and click on the first link, platform.openai.com. In here, you need to log in with the same account as you use in ChatGPT. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you have a ChatGPT account. If not, you're kind of falling behind. So in the top left, click on login. Once you log in, click on dashboard. On the left, click on API keys. Create new secret key. I'm going to name it n8n follow upper. Boom, create secret key. Once again, do not share these with anybody. Treat them as passwords. I'm going to delete this key before uploading this video. Go back to n8n. Credentials, create new credential, just paste in your API key, save, it's testing it, boom, just like that, testing successfully, which means we can now use any of the OpenAI models, and that is really like all of them. You can use even GPT-5. If you want to use GPT-5, you know, why not? Boom, there we go, GPT-5, select. So now we have the AI agent with the chat model. The next thing is the output, right? What does the agent do? It needs to reply to the message, aka send an email. So let's click plus right here after the AI agent output. You need to find the line, click plus, do Gmail, select Gmail, and then reply to a message. Okay, select the first one. Let me reorganize it a bit so it looks nicer, very important. Double click on this, once again, select the same account, resource message, operation, reply, message ID. Let's switch to expression. The email type, switch that to text. There we go, text. And the message is just going to be JSON output. Switch to expression, JSON output. And that should be it, to be honest. Let's save that and let's run this again. So execute workflow. It's finding a message. That was instant. Now it's the AI agents running with OpenAI API. Okay. GPT-5 will take like a few seconds to respond. So this one is writing the email, obviously, and then it's going to send the email and loop over again if we have more items, obviously, because this one can work even if you have 20 emails, right, that you send out. Oh, there we go. So workflow is finished. Let's check our email. Did this get a follow-up? Okay, and I can already see that it did, which is beautiful. So look at this. Hey there, following up on my note from the other day in case it slipped through. I'm happy to reset context. Isn't this beautiful? We just got an AI agent automatically follow up on an email that I sent out. Now, obviously, in this case, it was 38 minutes ago. But imagine this was sent like a few days ago, right? And it didn't get a response. AI agent runs, follows up. Amazing. Like, this is going to save so many hours in so many businesses and so many jobs. It's crazy. This is not going to replace jobs. A lot of people listen to, Sam Altman, Dario, these people who hype up shit. You have to realize the CEOs of the companies, they have the most incentive to hype everything up. However, AI agents are going to replace the most repetitive, boring parts of your job. So you can focus on the creative stuff because LLMs, newsflash, are not creative. And it will not be solved just by scaling. It needs an entirely different architecture. Why? Because large language models are sequence models. All they do is predict the next word, aka the next token. So they cannot have an inventive, original thought like humans can. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to worry for your job. Instead, you should be excited that agents like this can replace all the boring shit in your job and you'll do the creative, high leverage stuff. And again, this is just the first of the 6 AI agents I'm going to show you. Plus, later in the video, I'll show you how you can actually make real money by selling N8N agents like this one to businesses for thousands of dollars. However, in order to start building AI agents, either for yourself or for other businesses, you need to know how to host them, which is one of the biggest problems beginners face. Luckily, the solution is quite simple, and that is Hostinger. This is what I use for all of my AI agents, for all of the AI agents we use in our team, because it's the simplest way you can start building AI agents, plus one of the most affordable ways as well. So let me show you how to set it up. If you get the KVM2 plan, which I would recommend you to get, you can literally run hundreds of AI agents on this plan, and it will cost you way less than if you used the N8N Cloud. Especially if you go with the 24-month option, which I definitely recommend you do, because you want your AI agents running forever. You build them once and they save you time in perpetuity. And since Hostinger was kind enough to sponsor this video, if you use the coupon code DAVID, you will save additional 10% off on your annual or 2-year plan. Then what remains is selecting the server location, so just select whatever is closest to you. I'm in Czech Republic, so Germany is super close. And then for the operating system, click on N8N. They literally have a one-click install template for N8N. It couldn't be any easier, so click on confirm, and then click on continue, and log in with your Hostinger account, or just create one. And the last thing that remains is filling out your billing details and your credit card. I've been using Hostinger for months to host my N8N agents, and it really is the simplest and most affordable way to do so. So again, make sure to check out the link in the description, and remember to use code DAVID to get 10% off. Alright, so once you have your Hostinger VPS, go to the panel, click on Home, and select Manage. Here we can see how our virtual private server is running and all the usage you see about it. So this is another advantage over the N8N Cloud. You can actually see this data that N8N otherwise wouldn't give you. So all we need to click is Manage App, and this will launch the N8N server where we can see all of our AI agents. Alright, let's look at the second AI agent, which is realistic AI videos. And there is hundreds of ways you can do this. You can use it for marketing, for B-roll in videos, for, promotions, like for interviews, for upskilling your employees. I mean, get creative, Realistic videos are changing the world. There is like the startup Synphasia. I'm going to pop up on screen. That is scaling like crazy. I think they're like 200 million ARR. And all they do is like create realistic video avatars, right? So this automation is going to teach you how to do that. It's actually pretty simple. So the trigger doesn't really matter, to be honest. Here I have a schedule trigger. You can do WhatsApp, Telegram, up to you. Trigger isn't the main thing here. The main thing is honestly the VO3, but we're going to get to that. Be patient. Second node is Google Sheets, right? So this is simple get rows in a sheet. You connect Google Sheets API just like we did with Gmail API earlier. Then resource, click on sheet within document, operation get rows, and then document by URL. So here is the doc for this. And for this example, I'm going to keep it super simple. And I'm following a trend. It's actually much bigger than I thought, which is ASMR videos, right? So let me show you an example. So here's an example of a video completely generated with AI, including the sound. So take a listen. So yeah, this is ASMR. To be honest, I don't really watch or listen to ASMR, but you'll be surprised how big the market is. I mean, some of these videos are getting hundreds of millions of views. But again, you can use this anyway. I'll show you how to customize the prompt. So yeah, you attach the Google Sheet, then you select which sheet because, sheets have different pages. So just select the correct page. Then underneath filters, column, click on status, and in value start. So when this goes to start, this is when the automation will be triggered, right? So we can do like a marketing video for a real estate company, blah, 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 whatever you want. This is the video idea, really, this is the prompt. And then you switch it to start and the trigger will pick it up. And under combine filters, select and that's it. As you can see, the Google Sheets node is pretty simple. Then we have an AI agent. And this guy is responsible for writing the prompt. So whatever you write here, you just put the video idea. This AI agent has a prompt that is optimized for creating, well, this one again is for ASMR, but you can style this for like marketing videos, right? So you can say marketing video copywriter, right? Whatever you need for your own use case. Feel free to update this prompt, but basically this turns the vague video idea into an optimized prompt for VO3, which is the video model we're using. In this case, we're using OpenAI GPT 4.1 mini. Again, whatever model you prefer. My favorite is GPT 4.1. It's more powerful than the mini and it's very cheap as well. Let me save that actually. And then this is the main part, the HTTP request, right? So what does this do? Again, you might be thinking, okay, David, I don't know what HTTP is. Honestly, you don't even need to understand what HTTP stands for. For those who are curious, it's Hypertext Transfer Protocol. But the main thing is that we do a request to this URL, okay? So this is the URL where VO3 is hosted. We're using Replicate for this. Honestly, you can think of Replicate as kind of an open router, but for videos and AI images, right? But it's more than that because you can actually host the models here as well. Open router is just the router. But as you can see, here we already have VO3 Fast. We have some other AI video models. But for this, we're using Google VO3. This is the most powerful version of Google's video model. And look at this realism, right? You upload an image and then it gives you a realistic video, which you could easily fool a lot of people with this. So in here, if you click on HTTP, you get instructions on how to do the request, right? You see the authorization bearer token, you see the headers, you see the prompt right here, resolution, aspect ratio. So Replicate gives you everything you need, and you can also use it in Python, in Node.js, whatever you want. So this is the power of Replicate, and it makes it very easy where you don't have to host these models yourself, right? So we're using a basic HTTP request to the Replicate URL. And then, just like I said, we send the headers, specify them exactly as they are specified right here. So authorization, and we put the bearer token. And this is actually your Replicate API key. So do not share this with anybody. I'm gonna have to delete mine after upload or before uploading this video, hopefully I don't forget. But yeah, this is your API key. So it looks like this, or whatever. And just if you're curious, you can create this in your account. So click on your account, click on API tokens. Here, put your API name. So you can put like VO3 agent and just create token. Now, I think you get a few dollars for free, but if it doesn't work, just charge up like $3 and you'll be fine. Just keep in mind, if you want to create hundreds of videos with VO3, it is more expensive than languages, right? Generating videos is more expensive than generating text. So, keep that in mind. The costs are $3.20 per 8-second video. So if you are completely broke, this agent is not for you. But if you have that hustle, if you have that entrepreneurial resourcefulness, you can flip these videos for hundreds of dollars. Like you can sell video creatives for companies. You can sell mock-ups, like interior design, walkthroughs, digital, like there's infinite opportunity, guys. Literally infinite. All you need to have is a bit of initiative and the slightest bit of work ethic, and you can make it. You can make so much money with AI, it's kind of disgusting. So this is the setup for the headers. Again, authorization, bearer, API key, name, prefer, value, weight, send body, and then body content type JSON, specify body using JSON. And by the way, if you pay attention, this JSON is literally this part of the HTTP request, right? So N810 just makes it a bit simpler by splitting it into multiple fields, but you get the point, right? So here, this is important. We actually cannot send the new lines. So by doing this a little bit of regex, that replace, we replace these new line characters because that's one thing that Replicate doesn't really like. So yeah, just make sure there's no new line characters when you're sending this. And that's pretty much it for the HTTP request. It's not that difficult. And actually I can put something here. Let me flip this to start. We can flip this to finish. I can say strawberry in the spirit of strawberry for OpenAI. Let's create a video about a strawberry. Let's go step by step. Schedule trigger. Let's run this. Successful. get rows in sheet, boom. So this got this, yeah, correct, nice. We're gonna send this to the AI agent. The agent is gonna write the prompt for this. Next up, HTTP request. This one is gonna create a video. Then it's gonna be sent to this one, which is another HTTP request, and this basically streams the output. That's it. This doesn't really do anything else. Method get URL, JSON URL stream. Maybe there's a simpler way to do it, but hey, this works, you know. If you know of a better way, feel free to comment below. And by the way, if you want to see more n8n videos, make sure to subscribe. You'd be surprised how strong of a signal that is. It takes like 2 seconds to subscribe. It's completely free, and it tells me you like this type of content. So if you want to see more n8n videos on your YouTube recommended page, go below the video and subscribe right now. So again, this one we covered. This one I showed you just now. It streams the output, and then it uploads it to Google Drive. Resource file, operation upload, input data field name, data, file name. This honestly doesn't matter much, but here we just have it for the video idea. So it matches the video idea. That's the file name. And then you put my drive and the URL folder. Pretty simple, just like other Google Notes. If you learn a few of these Google services, Gmail, Sheets, you'll be able to do all of them, whether it's Calendar, whether it's Google Drive, whether it's, I don't know what else. What else is in the G Suite? They have so many services, it's crazy. If you learn a few of them, you can do all of them basically. n8n is really compounding like that. And then Google Sheets, update row in Sheet. So overall, this agent, again, is simple. This is 6 simple AI agents all people should have. So, you know, it's nothing crazy, but you can see this is very powerful because you could have your client post stuff here, and you could maybe charge them, you know, $50 per video, where it's costing you $3.20 per video. Very nice arbitrage, and a lot of people in the new society are actually doing business models like this. You know, everybody wants to make like 10K a month with AI, but a lot of people just want to make $2,000 as a multiple source of income, you know? Like a lot of people have a job and they don't want to quit it. They just want to have a second source of income with AI. It's totally possible. And I've seen it dozens of times. So let's run it. We have the prompt. Let's look at the AI agent. It wrote a detailed prompt for how it should sound, how it should look like. Then we're running replicate. This one is the longest one because it's generating the video. Usually takes between 30 and 60 seconds from my testing. Okay, there we go. Video has been generated. If we look at this, we have this output. So this node kind of simplifies that, just restreams it into a file name. So we actually have the file with 2.4 megabytes, which we can then upload into Google Drive. So that's why this node is necessary. It's kind of just formatting for Google Drive. Let's run it. Uploading the file also takes a few seconds. It's on a server. And then it just updates the row in a sheet because right now we have the start and we don't have the link. So this should update the sheet so that this is flipped to finished and we have the link. Beautiful. Let's look at the video. Man, the sounds are so realistic. That's crazy. And yeah, this is a hyper realistic AI video using the best AI model in the world. And again, feel free to customize this prompt. All you need to do is change the prompt of this AI agent to be optimized for marketing, recruiting, video creatives, whatever types of videos you want to make, B-roll for YouTube videos, faceless YouTube channels. You can start with this. I mean, the opportunities are endless, right? Just customize this prompt so that it generates videos that you want. And that's pretty much it. You can get started with it using the best video model in the world. Now, if you think generating hyper-realistic videos with matching sound is impressive, just wait until you see what's coming. So here is the third simple AI agent everybody needs. And this one has a bit more nodes, but it's actually pretty simple. So let me walk through. So here we actually have 2 scheduled triggers. This one is running every 11 hours. And basically what this agent does is tracking a YouTube channel's performance very, very accurately. So maybe you have some competitors, or maybe you want to track your own channel, doesn't matter. Or maybe you want to sell this to a client. You know, there's plenty of YouTubers who would buy something like this. I mean, if you showed me this like a few months back, before I really locked in on n8n, I would definitely pay $500,000 minimum. Because you'll see these reports that this agent generates are very, very detailed with graphs and stuff. So basically, this trigger runs every 11 hours. It checks the RSS feed. So this is my channel as an example. But yeah, it just checks my videos. Then we have a code block which filters out all the items to only the ones published in the last 12 hours. So we don't want to be retracking the same videos over and over. So that's what this code block does. To be honest, if you are scared of code blocks, you can probably like use some of these default ones, data transformation, like edit fields, filter, stuff like that. But a lot of the times it's just simpler to go to ChatGPT ask it to write the code and use a single JavaScript code block than, 5 different manual N8N logics and loops and conditionals. It's up to you, whatever you want. Next, we have a Google Sheets append row in Sheet. So this actually sets the status to start. So here, boom, start. And this is how it looks like, by the way. So you can see this is measuring like which videos are performing on day 1, day 3, day 1, 2, 3, 7, 14, 30, which shows you outliers, which is very, very important to know, like maybe your own channel or your competitors, which videos are outliers. You can study those. You can think of similar ideas, stuff like that, right? So this agent is very powerful. And again, lots of YouTubers would pay some serious money to have it. And building it's much simpler than it might seem. So again, this append row in Sheets sets the status to start, sets the video title, sets the video link. So boom, title, link. Then we have another Google Sheets node, and this one gets rows. So same document, but the filter is that it gets all the rows where the status is at start. So it ignores the finished ones and it ignores the empty ones. Only when they start, it runs on those basically. Then we have edit fields, and these are the fields to set. So row number, we do JSON.row number, and link, JSON video link, which is matching from the sheet. So then we have a few familiar fields again. We've covered these AI agent into update rows in Google Sheets, but this is where it gets interesting, day 0. So here we have a YouTube node that gets the video and its views based on the video ID. So on YouTube, every video has ID. Pull up my latest, so this is the Codex video, right? You can see this is the video ID in the URL, and this node gets the views. Then we have an update row in Sheets. So classic Google Sheets, row number, and then it sets the views on day 1. So in this sheet, I'm using fake data because I didn't want to run this for 30 days for obvious reasons. But yeah, you can see this updates the views day 0, which updates our chart over here. So for each video, this runs, and then something interesting happens. Wait 1 day. So this is a very interesting node. It literally just waits, So it's kind of like the schedule, but for a pause. So it pauses the automation for 1, and then the unit is days. And then that's day 0. And then on day 1, it runs again. Gets the video, updates the rows on how many views it has in day 1, and pauses for 1 day. So then we have day 2, which is basically the same. We track the views, we update the row for day 2, aka the column, and then we wait 1 day for day 3. On day 3, we do a longer pause until day 7. Again, you can configure this however you want. If you want to track every single day for 30 days, it's up to you. But I think 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 14, 30, that's really good. So basically this is it. This is the whole thing. And as you can see, even though there's a lot of nodes, it's quite simple. I mean, most of it is kind of duplicated here with just a delay. And this automation runs for 30 days until it's completed. So it's literally inside of N8N sitting. This execution is going to be active for 30 days until it's fully done. And it's going to be tracking all of the views on this channel. So again, for experimentations using my own channel. So it's going to be spotting which are outliers, like this N8N video, for example, and which videos are lacking. And then you can go back and analyze, why did the video flop? Why did this video do well? And to any content creator, this is beyond valuable. Honestly, like I was being very conservative when I say $500. To bigger creators, something like this could be worth thousands of dollars, because each successful video is going to make them thousands of dollars. So if you can, deliver them one successful video every 3 months, right? Every 3 months is like the ROI on AI agent like this is kind of crazy. And again, this is just number 3 of the 6 that I'm going to show you in this video. So let's go on to the next one. Now this one has a lot fewer nodes, but that doesn't mean it's not useful. It's actually just as useful. And when I say everyone should have this, I mean it. Everyone should have this expense tracker agent. So you can pretty much understand how it works just by looking at it. But basically the trigger is a Gmail node. So you select which email you want to check. You do poll times every minute or whatever you want. And then event is message received. So when a message comes in into your email inbox, it will trigger and it will run an AI agent, which will determine, hey, is this an expense or is this just spam or some friend emailing you or whatever, right? So the prompt, again, just like last time, identical. And the prompt is this. Analyze the email, personality, silent, dismissed. Honestly, it's pretty overkill. The prompt should just say like, If this is an expense, do that. If it's not an expense, do nothing. This prompt could be much shorter, but feel free to take it, copy it. Again, all of the resources are in the new society, templates and presets. So if you want any of these agents, like maybe this one you could build very relatively fast. The previous one took some time, but if you want them and just literally just one click import from file, all of that is in the new society, templates and presets. Right here, AI agents by David. You can download any of these and start having that agent save you time right away, literally with a few clicks, no matter what your business or your life is. Some of these agents, every single person needs. Expense tracker is one of them. So again, this AI agent determines, is this an email with an invoice? Is this a receipt? Or is this just some random ass email? For the model, GPT 4.1 mini is sufficient. If you are finding issues that the model is underperforming, just select 4.1 and you're gonna be chilling. And the only tool it has is append row in Sheets. So all it does is just append a single row in Google Sheets. Let me show you. Could not be simpler. Boom, there it is. So you have the date, self-explanatory, date of the transaction, then you have the category. Honestly, the category should probably be here. So the transaction name, then the cost, category, and then how relevant it is. This is like AI agent ranks this 1 through 10. So if it's like a completely waste, like Netflix subscription, it might be 2. If it's like groceries, might be 9, right? So you understand this. And yeah, that's the AI agent. Literally could not be simpler, and it automates most of your accounting needs. Like obviously, if you're like a financial company, you probably need in-house accountants. But if you're just a single solopreneur, if you're a small business owner, if you're an individual and you just want to have a spreadsheet with all your transactions categorized into different categories and with a relevance that the AI agent decides, it could not be any simpler. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to build this, and it's going to save you time forever in perpetuity. Now let's be honest, the reason you're watching this is because you understand the power of automation and AI agents. But one thing that nobody is automating is the actions in their productivity app, which is exactly what we just released inside of Vectel by adding workflows. There's a lot of manual shit that happens in your task management, in your productivity. Now you're able to automate it. So inside of Vectel, on the right, there is this new button, Workflows. In here, you can either use one of the pre-built workflows we have or create a new one. Daily creative idea. The trigger, let's go with schedule. Daily at 8 a.m. An action, create idea. And you can set the prompt to whatever you want. Maybe you run a marketing agency. Maybe you do sales. Maybe you have a fashion design business, whatever you want. This workflow will run every single day at 8 a.m. and create an actionable idea that would get you closer to your goals. And since Vectel has your user context, such as your work description, short-term goals, long-term goals, this idea will be hyper relevant to you. Now, this is just one of many workflows you're able to build inside of Vectel. For example, this one is super useful. And it's one of the pre-built workflows that we built for you. So you don't even have to build it when you use Vectel. So what it does, it runs every time an email is received that fits this criteria. Spam, promotional emails, stuff like that. And then what to do? It marks the email as read. This single workflow will reduce the time you spend on your email by 80 to 90%. I have this running on all of my main inboxes, and it's something that everyone should activate. So if you love N8N, you're gonna absolutely love Vectel Workflows, which allows you to automate all the boring shit inside of your task management app. So go to vectel.ai and give it a shot. You can use workflows even on the free account, so there is no excuse. Now let's go back to N8N. The fifth agent all of you should have is a personalized outreach email agent. So all of us at a certain point in our life need to send an email, right, to somebody, whether it's a company we're applying to work at, or someone we want to have on a podcast. But that email cannot be basic, it cannot be spam, it needs to be personalized, and this is exactly what this agent does. So we have a schedule trigger right here, which checks, again, rows inside of a sheet. So here is what the sheet looks like. We have the research status, we have the email, so this is my email for testing, contact company, could be Vectel, doesn't matter, contact name, and then the research. So this is what this agent does. It does deep research on that person before sending the email. So if you're doing cold emails, this will change the game completely for you. And I'm going to show you how to build this. So you have the full personalized email body just by this little bit of information. All you need is the contact email and the name of the person, really. So again, this trigger runs, I think it's once a day, it doesn't really matter. And it checks all the new leads here. You can set it to once an hour, it's up to you. Schedule trigger is very easy to configure, boom. runs once an hour, just like that. Next, gets rows in sheet, so it gets all the rows with the start status, just like the previous agents. And then, this is interesting, so you can use either Perplexity Sonar, or there is an alternative way, SERP API. It's up to you, whichever you prefer. Some people are familiar with SERP, some people prefer Perplexity. So whichever you want to use, you can use it. Just, detach the other one and attach this as the chat model. Entirely up to you. Then this agent performs web research. So again, either it uses Perplexity or SERP, but it researches on this person, and the prompt is the main thing, right? So you are a research assistant, your task is to perform thorough web research on a specified person and or company. So there's some more info, but that's basically it. It does deep research on this person and the company to understand who he does, what it's about, enough info to personalize the email. And then it goes into a second AI agent. So this one writes the email, right? So it gets all the info from the previous agent and the research results. So actually this is from the sheet, and this is the research results from the previous agent. And it's instructed to write a personalized collab email as me, David. You can obviously customize this prompt however you want. Again, all of the AI agents from this video are available in the New Society inside of the templates and presets section. So if you want to just take the prompts, or if you want to import the whole agent, you know where to find them. So yeah, first agent does the web search, second agent writes the email, and then we update the rows in a sheet. So actually, this is the practical way of doing it. A lot of people would have it send the email right away, but these AI agents are not there yet. Maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, where they're like super reliable, but LLMs hallucinate, LLMs make up shit. So the way to do it is to have one-step human approval, right? So if you add, like, let's say, again, you can have a separate agent that does the lead generation, that scrapes the web for emails and adds the contact names, and then you launch it once a day. The next 10 people are researched, and then the email is written for them, and then you go as the human, or you hire a VA or whatever, just double checking that the email is looking good, right? Maybe if it's like, if you're doing crazy volume and you don't care, you can remove this step. But I think for most production and most real businesses, you will need to confirm the email that the AI wrote. And maybe instead of doing that, you can actually have a separate step, Gmail, and it can be a draft, right? Create a draft. So that's another way to do it. It's just probably easier to see many of them in a sheet. So if you're doing lots of volumes, saving that in a sheet is easier. If you're doing less volume, writing a draft and then just sending it through an email, going to your drafts, and you'll see the pre-written drafts here and just clicking send, probably is easier. Then the send out of the email is once you approve it, right? So once you confirm the status to confirmed, the second part of the automation runs again, I think once a day or once 5 minutes, doesn't matter, and sends out all the emails that you confirmed. So it gets the rows by confirmed, and it sends the message, and it updates it to send. So this agent, it has a few more nodes than the previous one, but it's also very simple, and it's beyond useful, especially for businesses that are doing cold outreach and that are sending out lots of emails. This makes sure that the email is personalized and that it doesn't get, you get higher delivery rates, higher open rates, and ultimately more business. That's the goal of this. And you save yourself time and your team's time. So this agent can be obviously used in hundreds of different ways. But if you're doing anything with cold email outreach, you need an AI agent like this one. Now, as I promised, I'm going to also talk about how to turn this into a side hustle, because you can make a lot of money relatively fast with AI agents. I mean, these are some offers that people are offering, and I would say these are not even experts. These are like medium level AI agent builders, right? And you can see the start package 750 and the advanced package is 5K. And businesses are paying way more than that for good AI agents and automations. But the mistake a lot of people make is that they don't stand out. They're like AI automation agency. No business wants to hear that. If someone reaches out to me and say like, I run an AI automation agency, they instantly get flagged by my Vectel workflow as spam, right? Because this is not an original offer. Nobody wants to work with an AI automation agency. People want they want you to solve a specific problem for them. You need to be specialized. A good way to stand out is to have an irresistible offer. And the example, like how you can do that, is add a free AI consultation for an expert. You need to position yourself as expert, right? So this is much harder to say no to than oh, I'm an AI agency, you know, I charge this much. If you just offer a free AI consultation with no expectations and you actually do a lot of preparation beforehand, maybe you use one of your agents to help you with the preparation and the deep research, the company will be way more impressed. If you put 5 hours of effort into a free consultation, we're like, oh wow, this guy did a lot for this, you know, free call. Like, imagine if I hire him, he'll probably over-deliver. That's the type of feeling you need to leave in your clients. Then, to profit maximize, you want to add some expensive but great add-ons, right? And this is where the real money is. Because business owners value time, they value speed, they value efficiency, personalization. So this is an example of someone on Upwork doing this today. And there's no reason it could be you. These people are not experts in machine learning or experts in math or programming. You literally have to click and drag in a tool like Na10 to do this. So this person, which we found, is doing the fast delivery for another 500 to 100K. So if you have a bit of work ethic and you can deliver fast, you can charge another 1K. Done for you code, you know? If people want Na10 automation, but in code, boom, another 1500. And how can you do that? Tools like Claude Code, tools like Codex, tools like Cursor. I've made countless videos on these. So if you're subscribed to this channel, you will know. Code guidance is literally could just be a call explaining the code to them and how to integrate it. Another 500. Do you see the upsells are crazy? That's because this guy knows that a businessman will happily spend money to save time for the fast delivery, or happily spend time to, you know, get his business up to speed with the code guidance. So really being creative with the bonuses, with the guarantees, with the conditions, this is where you can make your offer stand out from everybody else. I mean, this is what Hormozy talks about. So if you follow Alex Hormozy, if you read the book $100 Million Offers, you will know all of this. But applying this for AI agents is where the untapped opportunity is, because this field is very new and most people have such a boring, commoditized offer, it's crazy. So what you need to take away, it's not about creating the most complicated agent. Far from it, guys. All you need is a reliable agent that specifically targets the business and helps to solve a specific problem for that business. Like, you don't even need to show them the nodes. It could literally be 4 nodes, 5 nodes. It could take you an hour to build. Doesn't matter. It's more about creating a great offer specific to your target avatar. So if you're targeting dentists, if you're targeting real estate agents, whoever it is you're specializing on, it is all about the offer. The offer needs to be compelling. It needs to reverse risk. It needs to deliver the promise fast. You need to understand target avatar, what problems they're facing, what is their dream outcome. If you don't, you will always struggle. If you do understand it, you will have more clients than you can handle. So this is how you can turn Na10 automations into business. Now let me show you the 6th agent that everyone needs. And this one, I really believe everyone needs. So this agent, unlike the other ones which are more business targeted, is for your personal life. To never ever miss a person's birthday, right? So you have a Google Sheet once again. Let me show you, boom, where you write down the birthdays of your friends, right? So birthday, name, interest, and actually you only need to add let me make it clear. You only need to add these 3 fields: birthday, name, and interest. The AI agent takes care of the rest, of the gift ideas and of reminding you. So if you have a calendar or some place where you store all your closest friends' birthdays, you just once add them here, and then we have a schedule trigger. Honestly, we can probably have it run less frequently, because maybe like once a week. You'll see the way this AI agent works. But basically, what this agent does is that not only does it remind you of the birthday when it's coming, like up to 7 days before, so you have enough time to buy the gift, but also brainstorms some gift ideas, right? So it reads get rows in sheet, classic Google Sheet, where you have the status as nothing. So this is important. You have to actually set it like so, status value empty. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Then you have the AI agent, which brainstorms based on the interest, it brainstorms ideas, right? Based on the name, if it's a man or a woman, maybe the gift ideas are different. And if the birthday is within 7 days, it will generate the idea using a model. So you can use a reasoning model. If you prefer Claude as ideas, disconnect OpenAI and connect Anthropic. Pretty simple change. You just need to add your Anthropic API key. That's the only change. And then we have a tool structured output parser to format the output of the agent. Then we have an if-else node. So, a lot of people use AI agents for simple conditional logic, which is very bad. You should absolutely use code where possible. And if-else statement is a beautiful example of that. So don't be one of these people who spend $1,200 a month on LLMs doing simple shit, right? So this was a Reddit post like, wow, we've been burning money for 6 months. We're spending $1,200 a month. And what was they doing? You think, okay, some crazy AI agent, like writing personalized emails, like really doing lots of reasoning. No, this person was extracting phone numbers from text, which you can do with regular expression. He was checking profanity, which you can do matching words against the blacklist. He was reformatting JSON. There is countless of JSON parsers that exist. And he was, this one is the funniest. He was using the LLM to uppercase words, which literally you can do with that upper, a single method. So there is a lot of people who are quite stupid, who are using LLMs for things that you should be using code for. And this person was spending $1,200 a month. And he was posting this like, wow, look at this optimization. After switching to GPT-4o Mini, the bill dropped to $200 a month. No, you're still a dumbass. You're spending $200 a month on something that should be a simple code that costs nearly zero to run. You can do this all with Python or JavaScript for nearly zero. It can run super fast, more reliable, by the way, than LLMs, because LLMs hallucinate, and infinitely faster, because a response from LLM can take 1, 2, 3 seconds. Python can run in a few milliseconds, same with JavaScript. So don't be one of these people who avoid code at all costs and then look like absolute retards when they use LLMs for this and spend hundreds of dollars a month on stuff that has been solved for decades with a few lines of code. So this is what I mean. We can use an if statement here. A lot of people would use a fucking AI agent here. It's like, okay, if it's true, redirect to Telegram. If it's false, like, guys, come on. No matter if you're not a beginner programmer, it's all about constructing logic. It's not about being a senior developer. An AI agent is really good at like recognizing if an email is spam or not, right? Based on the context of the email, who sent it, how it was phrased. There's a lot of different like variables and nuances that goes into that. You cannot just use a blacklist of words, right? Because that would be unreliable and it would do false flags. So use AI where it makes sense, but if you can solve something with a few lines of code, use code for that, right? And the beauty of n8n is that a lot of the code is actually replaced with these nodes. So you have these like data transformation nodes where a lot of them like edit fields, right? Set, modify, add, or remove fields. Filter, remove fields matching the conditions. Limit. These are all like logic that otherwise you would have to write code, but thanks to n8n, you don't have to do that. You have these pre-built, pre-created nodes that you can just click and drag and drop. And again, all you need to do is kind of think through the logic in your brain. And once you know how your AI agent or AI automation should work, you can build it just with these nodes instead of putting AI agent everywhere where it doesn't make sense. So again, if it's true that the birthday is coming up, we send a text message on Telegram reminding you that, hey, your friend's birthday is coming up. I mean, look, to be honest, this is mostly for men, right? Let's be honest. Women, they always somehow remember their friend's birthday up to like 2 months before they're preparing for it. It's crazy how much effort they put into this shit. So this is mostly for us guys, so that we don't forget about one of our best friends' birthdays. And the AI agent also brainstorms the gift idea. If you want more ideas, just change the prompt to brainstorm 5 different ideas. One of them is most likely going to be relevant. And yeah, this AI agent, unlike the other ones, is for your personal life. But it will allow you to be one of the favorite guys in the group because you never miss a birthday and you always have a birth ready when one of your boys' birthday comes. So yeah, this AI agent is also something that everyone should have, just in case. Even if you're great with birthdays, it never hurts to be reminded. So yeah, these were 6 AI agents that everyone should have. And again, the beauty of n8n is that once you build your first agent, you defeat most of the friction. It can be intimidating at the start, but if you really get started, if you really push through to first 1 or 2 agents, the rest is really easy because you do the same shit, right? Schedule trigger, we've learned that. Google Sheet, we've learned that. The AI agent, we know that. So like most of the nodes you're already familiar with. So really, I would encourage you to sit down, block out 60 to 90 minutes in your calendar and build your first n8n agent. This is a beyond valuable skill to have in the next few years. It will future-proof yourself against being replaced. Because if you can, in your company, be the guy who finds a way to automate the process, trust me, no boss is going to ever fire you. So yeah, this has been 6 AI agents that everybody needs. And again, once you build the agents, you need to host them somewhere, and the best option is by far Hostinger. It's the simplest way. It's like literally one click. You don't have to know anything about VPS management, none of that. They make it so easy to run self-hosted NA10 on their VPS, and it's also one of the most affordable options out there. So once again, thank you Hostinger for sponsoring the video. Make sure to use code DAVID for another 10% off when going with the annual or tweeter plan. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful, productive week. See ya.